Hi and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. If you are new and you like makeup, beauty, hair or hauls, then please consider subscribing. So I have just received delivery of a couple of really nice items actually from I think they're a small business called BJAA or BJAA, I think it is. I think that's how it's pronounced. And they've sent me some makeup brushes, or a makeup brush set to try out. I also have this really nice like facial kit as well, which I will show you just briefly in today's video. But what I'm going to do with this is do like, I'll probably put a short on YouTube. I'll do a TikTok and an Instagram reel as well using this. But what this is it's like a facial roller set. So it actually comes really beautifully presented in this box. And then inside we open it up and we've got a little pouch to store our bits and bobs in. There's a little instruction manual in there as well. And then we have these. So we've got a facial roller, a gua sha and a mask brush in there as well. These are really, really nice quality. I'm really impressed with these. I've had quite a few of like cheaper versions of them, like Primark, you know, I've picked up one off Amazon as well, and they're not proper stone, so they're quite light and they don't perform quite as well as if you get proper stone ones. These are actually 100% jadeite stone and you can really tell it's weighty. That's how you tend to know whether they're authentic or not, because of the weight of them. But yeah, absolutely stunning, really, really beautiful devices. Oh, that's nice and cold. It's really hot today. But yeah, so I've got a gua sha, a jade roller and a mask brush in there, as I said. But yeah, really beautiful. So yeah, I'll pop those, as I say, into like a short reel TikTok, and obviously you can see them in action on there. But today we are focusing on this gorgeous brush set. So it comes in this really nice kind of leatherette pouch with the branding on the front as well. We've got a massive selection of makeup brushes. You've got everything you need in here. You wouldn't need any more brushes than what you've got here, believe me. And this is coming from a brush hoarder. So what also was on the brushes, they were in plastic wrap, and then they actually have these over the heads of the large face brushes. Always keep these, they're brilliant. If you know, when you've washed your brushes, if you put these back over while they're still damp, it keeps them in shape. I highly recommend, don't throw these away, always keep them. There is also a sponge in there as well. Obviously it's quite firm at the moment, I can't really tell, I have to wet it, and obviously I'll show you me using it as well. There's also a little egg brush cleaner as well. These are great actually, because you just pop them on your fingers like that, and then you can you know, use this to clean your makeup brushes. And obviously because it's got the grooves, it gets into all the bristles and everything. They're absolutely great. So the brushes, I think they retail for £24 for the full set, which isn't bad at all for good quality brushes. I have to say, just from first impressions, first touch, they do seem like really good quality. The bristles are firmly in there, you know, if I do that, there's nothing coming loose or anything. They do feel really nice quality. And I just love the kind of a black and rose gold sort of design on them. Well, actually, it's probably more of a gold than a rose gold. But yeah, really beautiful design on them as well. And then we have the, I think it's JAR. So the JAR logo on the handle of each brush as well. The black on these is actually very slightly sparkly as well. I'll show you them more close up when I actually, you know, test them out. But yeah, really, really nice. So in here, we've got 6 face brushes. So we have like a small kind of, this would be quite good actually for powdering, sort of for your under eyes, anything like that, or even applying concealer. We have what I would say is a concealer brush as well. We've got an angled kind of contour blusher brush. We have a stippling brush here as well. We've got a really nice foundation brush, that's a domed one. And then we have a large powder brush there as well. We also have 9 eye brushes here too. So we have a domed sort of blending brush or packing brush there. We've got an angled eyeliner brush. We have another sort of blending brush, sort of a medium-sized one. We've got an angled blending brush there as well, or for the crease. We've got an angled brush there, which is quite good for like if you're doing eyeliner or eyebrows as well. We've got another blending brush here. We have, this one's kind of quite soft. I quite like these for putting on shimmers. So it's quite soft and bushy, but it is a packing brush as well. It's like a rounded packing brush, but they're really good, I've found, for applying your shimmers. We've got another angled brush there. A wasp has just come in. We've got another angled brush there, so that's slightly smaller than the other one. Again, really good for brows or eyeliner. And then we have another slightly taller blending brush there as well. So really nice. As I say, you've got everything you need here to do a full face of makeup. With this brush set, you wouldn't really need any more. So I'm going to put them to the test today and see how they perform. So what I'm going to do is firstly go and wet my sponge. And yeah, I'll try and get through as many of these as I can doing a full face. I might not be able, like the angled ones and that, I probably won't be able to use those, but we'll try and get through as many as we can anyway. Right then, okay, so what I've done is I've kind of picked out a selection of, most of them to be honest are kind of like makeup products that I use every day. So I'm just going to go through those because I use them all the time. I thought it'd probably be the best test. So what I am going to do first is just prime my face. So all I've got on is moisturiser. So I'm just going to use a primer just for my face and my under eyes and sort of stubborn areas like the nose. So I'm just going to go on with the NYX Marshmellow Primer all over my face. And then I'll be using the NYX Pore Filler Stick just on my under eyes and like my stubborn kind of nose areas. Obviously, this is just going to be applied with my hands. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Okay, and then once I've primed my face, what I actually normally do is use a sponge just to press the primer into my skin. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I'll be using the sponge. So it's kind of like that now. So it has gained quite a lot of size. So I'm just going to use that just to gently press the primer into my skin. It is quite a firm blending sponge, I suppose, compared to, say, the Real Techniques ones or the, you know, original Beauty Blender ones, which, to be honest, I normally wouldn't go for. But, it does press it in. It does what it should. I'll use it, obviously, when I do my foundation as well. But, yeah, no, it's done fine there. So I'm just going to use the Pore Stick, as I say, on my under eyes. This stuff is really good, actually. I don't think I've reviewed this on its own, but it is a really, really good product. So I'm just going to use that on my under eyes. I'll just use my finger with this. Can you see how much it's kind of mattified under my eye area there? And obviously, you know, you can see I've got natural creasing on my under eyes. And I do find if I use this first, my concealer doesn't tend to crease as much. And it's quite a balmy sort of texture as well. So, you know, it kind of glides on, it doesn't drag, which, you know, for your under eyes is what you want. So just there. And then, as I say, I'm just going to use it on my nose. Just like that. Okay, so after a couple of minutes of letting that just set into my skin, I'm going to go in with my foundation. So I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation, which is this one just here. And I've got the shade 3 Neutral in this one. And I'll be using this foundation brush with it. So it's really nice actually. It's like a domed foundation brush. And I'll just show you on this one. So all of the handles are like this, but they've got the branding actually on the handles there as well, which I think is really quite nice. So I'm just going to put a couple of pumps, well, 1.5 I normally use, of that foundation onto the back of my hand, and then I'll use the foundation brush just to blend that into my skin. That is really nice. Circular motions. Like that. Do you know what? This is lovely. Really nice brush. I normally use the flat-headed kabuki type ones. I don't think I've used a rounded one, but it actually works really well. And as I say, you can definitely feel the quality on them. You know, there's a lot of bristles in there. They're not, you know, they don't feel cheap. They are good quality. Yeah, that's definitely done the job. Really, really nice foundation brush, really nice. So then I'm going to just take the sponge and just press that into my skin as well. Yeah, really nice. One thing I will say is because it does have that slightly firmer texture to it, it doesn't actually pick up a lot of product on it. You know, you don't feel like it's going to soak all the product up, which is actually a really good thing. So yeah, really nice. I wouldn't suggest kind of, you know, you can hear it going around your face quite quickly with it, and with a light hand you do need to kind of press quite firmly with it, but that's what I normally do anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my eyebrows now. I'm not going to use any brushes for this. I'm just going to use the 24-hour brow setter from Benefit and the She Glam brow pen stroke pencil. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll do eyes. Okay, so that's that done. So next I'm going to do eyes. So I'm just going to prime them first, and we're going to be using the BPerfect Perfect Prime. I love this. I always use this. So I'm just going to pop some of that on my lids first. Not tons, just enough. And then I'm going to take this brush just here. So this was kind of like the slightly angled, fluffier brush. I'm just going to use that to blend my primer. Which has done the job absolutely perfectly. It's really good actually for that. I never thought to use an angled brush to do that, but because it's angled, obviously you can get right in there and do your inner corners, and it also gets right into your crease as well. So that's actually, yeah, really nice for that. And then I'm going to be dipping into the Beauty Bay New Mood palette again. I have done a full review on this palette already, but I wanted to just dip into this really to do a simple kind of look with the more neutral shades in here. So I'm just going to kind of do a bit of a brownie look, just an everyday look. So I'm going to start off by using this brush just here. So it's kind of like a flat rounded blending brush, I would say. I'm going to use this one just to set my lids, or set the primer on my lids. I'm going to be going in with this shade just here, which is called Grateful. Picks up really, really nicely on this brush actually. Yeah, which has worked really, really well. It's a nice brush, really nice. It's actually got a slight bit of firmness to it, I think, because it's so densely packed, but it actually makes it easier to control and move around the lid because of that. So yeah, that's really nice. And then I shall be taking the slightly shorter blending brush. So this is the domed brush just here. And I'm going to use the shade Blessed, which is this one at the bottom just here. So it's kind of like a mid brown, and I'm going to work that through my crease and just slightly above as well. Because it's got that really nice rounded shape to it, it's really nice to actually place in your crease because it kind of slots in there perfectly. It's a really nice shade, really nice. It's almost like a bit of a bronzer shade. And so I'm just going to blend the edges of that out now. For that, I'm going to be using the slightly longer rounded brush. So that was this one just here. I'm just dipping slightly into that Grateful shade again, just to kind of blend out the edges. And again, that has worked beautifully for blending. Really, really nice. Okay, and then I'm going to take Powerful, which is this really dark brown on the end just here, and I'm going to use that on the outer part of my lid here. I'm going to use the kind of short domed brush just to pack it on, and then I'll be going back in with the longer rounded brush to blend after. Really, really nice for picking up product, these brushes are. It's, you know, there's not really a lot coming off at all. Yeah, lovely. So I'm going to use that, so just to pack this on to the outer part. And then blend with this one. Yeah, that's lovely. Really, really nice. So I'm going to go on with a shimmer now onto this part of my lid just here. So for that, I'm going to be using this brush here, which is the one I said would be really good for shimmers. So it's kind of like the slightly firmer packing but domed brush. So it's quite a thick kind of packing brush, but these I find work really, really well for shimmers. So I'm just going to go in with, I think I'm going to use this kind of rose goldy pinky shade, which is here just called Intimate. See, just look at that. When you use a thicker brush, it just goes on beautifully. Really, really nice. Stunning, really, really nice. So I'm just going to blend that back in now. Lovely, really pretty. And then what I'm going to do is take the same brush. So this was the one that I just used for the shimmer, and I'm going to use that to just go on my underneath as well, because I think it's quite a nice shape for that too. So for that, I'm going to be using Blessed, which was this shade here that I used on my crease, and then just to connect on the outer corner, I'm going to go back into Powerful. Lovely, really, really nice. I'm really happy with that eye look actually. That shimmer's really, really pretty. Yeah, those brushes, the eye brushes, are really, really nice. And because, as I say, I don't know what it is about them, they're quite light to hold as well. I prefer a lighter brush to a heavier brush. I know some people the other way around, but that's how I prefer it. And yeah, they're quite densely packed, so they pick up a lot of product, which is absolutely brilliant, you know, because you're getting the full pigment out of those shadows as well. Yeah, really easy to control too. So I'm going to, what I'll do is I'll just go away and do my mascara, because obviously I don't need a brush for that. So I'll go and do that first. Right, okay, so that's that done. So next I'm going to use the rest of the face brushes. Now this is the stippling brush just here. I won't use that because I don't tend to use them, to be honest, but they are really good for applying your foundation. If you prefer to use one of these, I just prefer to use a more dense brush. But yeah, so there's that one just there. Oh, by the way, for mascara, I went in with the She Glam. This is the tubing mascara, the Long at Last tubing mascara. Really, really liking this at the moment. And I'm just going to go on my under eyes with a little bit of concealer. I don't use much concealer, to be honest. But I'm going to go in with the Erborian BB Cream stick. So this is a really, really good concealer. So if I do use it, I tend to use this. And when I do, I put the tiniest amount just there and there, and use my finger. So obviously I'm not going to use a brush for this, but if you did want to use a brush, then I would say that this small brush just here would be the best one to use. I'm actually going to use this for highlighter though. So next I'm going to go on with the BPerfect Cronzer. in the shade Sand. I absolutely love this stuff. It blends out really, really nicely, which is a really good thing for me because I'm not best at like contour or cream bronzer. So I'm going to go on actually with the foundation brush again. I'm just going to take some of that, pop it on the usual areas. And then I don't like loads, so I'm just going to use the excess around the top just here. Very, very lightly. I'm literally holding it right at the end of the brush just to blend and go up. And then what I like to do is just take a tiny, tiny amount, so just a couple of taps, and just kind of put it just here. I find it just kind of helps to connect the eyeshadow a bit more, and it just gives you that bit of a lift just there as well. Under the jaw. And just blending down a little so you don't get that harsh line. Yeah, really nice. And then for bronzer, I'm going to use the larger fluffy brush, although it's not overly large, so it's actually quite a nice size. And I'm going to go in with the Catrice Maxi. This is the Maxi Matte Face and Body Bronzer. This is from the Disney collection, the Lady and the Tramp one, and this is Lady Be Brave. Really, really nice. Really nice. I love this bronzer. It's just a perfect shade for me. So taking that, and it smells of coconut as well. Like that, really nice, beautiful shade, and lovely brush as well. Really nice again. I'm really impressed with these brushes. And then for blush, I'm going in with the BPerfect Scorched blush. This is in Helios, and I'm going to use the angled brush for this one. So I don't take tons, I just take that. This is going to be a perfect size for blush as well. Just kind of tap it. Again, really, really nice. And then I'm going to just use the bronzer just to kind of connect the blusher to the bronzer there. And then for highlight, I am going to be using, as I said, that smaller brush just here, which would also be really good for powder. And I am going to use the e.l.f. Guava little mini duo palette here. So I'm going to use the highlighter from this side. Now, because these pick up quite well, this might be a bit intense. No, it's not too bad. So I'm going, again, right at the end of the brush, so it's a light. Just to blend. What I'll also do is take this kind of a fluffier brush again that I used in the crease and on the underneath of my eye. I'm just going to dip into the highlighter and just use that kind of under my brow bone there as well. Like that. Lovely, really nice. Okay, so that's all the brushes used now. So all I'm going to do is go away and pop some lip products on. I'm going to go in with the Doll Beauty She Fine Liner in Boy Bye. So that one just there. And I'll also use the Revolution or I Heart Revolution. Yeah, Cocoa Pebbles lip gloss. This one is in the shade Betty. So I'm going to use that one as well. Okay, so here is the finished look and I absolutely love it. I know these are products that I said that I use on a regular basis, but I honestly think these brushes are so good. Really, really easy to use. I say the control that you get on them, I think it's because they are so densely packed. There's a lot of bristles in them. So, you know, you don't overuse product. You don't need loads of product with them. They go exactly where you want them to. They're really precise. They're just the right size as well. Like that blusher brush that I used, it was perfect. You know, sometimes they can be a bit big and you end up using too much blusher, but that was the perfect amount. Yeah, really, really impressed. For 24 quid for the whole set, I think that's an absolute bargain. So what I'll do is obviously all of the products that I've used on my face today, I will link in the description box below, along with the link to the brushes as well. I'll pop the link to that little facial set on there as well for you, with any discount codes that I can find, anything like that. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed watching. And if you did, then please give me a thumbs up and I'd really appreciate it. It'd mean the absolute world to me if you did enjoy watching this video and you would like to subscribe to my channel. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye!
I'm thinking you were made for me. Isn't it my birthday yet? Cause I gotta say, you're looking like a gift for me, wrapped up nice and neat, baby.